Hi, I'm Ashley.
I'm Alexandra.
And we're with Moderno Construction Management. And we're here today to kind of chat about the 3 different ways that people might approach a new construction build. So the first way that people would engage in a home build would be with a general contractor. The second way that people would engage would be with a project manager. And then some people decide that they want to take the project on their own and really become their own builder. And so we're here today to kind of talk about the differences of the 3 and which one might serve you best.
So Ash, I think what would be really valuable to talk about today is the difference between the 2 management models between general contracting and a project management model for a customer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so most builders, they operate in what's called a general contracting role. And what that does is really secures the price, but in turn, it takes a little bit of the freedom away from the client or the customer. And so they don't really have a lot of access to the back office, if you will, and the finances and things like that. And there's only a set number of things that they'll kind of touch and change in the home that are often called allowances. So they have a very limited role in really the production of that home. How project management is different in that is that everything is opened up to the homeowner, and really a project manager serves as a guide throughout the whole project. So a homeowner would have full access to all of the finances in the project, as well as every single category and exactly what goes into that house at every point. So they can really integrate into the project and make a determination at every point and understand and decide what's best for themselves and their family ultimately in the project.
I think that equates really well visually if you think about it with a vehicle. You can think that in a general contracting model or a project management model, they're both vehicles that are going to take you to the same destination, but when you're in a general contractor seat, for instance, you're being put in the back of the car. That general contractor is in the front making decisions along the way. Versus when you're in a project management vehicle, you're getting put in the driver's seat, and the project manager serves as a guide sitting next to you. You guys are working together along the way, navigating to the end.
So sometimes people will come to us and they really have an intention of building their own home and on their own without any sort of support. And what can be challenging with that is that they don't always have access to the labor force, nor do they have the benefits of buying things already in bulk, right? So when we go and we buy lumber at the lumber yard, or we'll go and buy truckloads of windows from our window manufacturer, that comes at a better multiplier. And so we get discounted pricing on that, which then we pass on to our clients. So when someone wants to hit a project on their own, it can tend to be very clunky, especially without the experience and the knowledge of just being in the industry and knowing how all of the subcontractors work together and what their expectations are, so that the next guy and the next guy can really do their job well.
I think it's similar back to the car scenario, right? If this is your first time driving a stick shift, you're gonna get in and have a lot of questions along the way. Even though you've seen people drive them before and you think, I can do this, it's different when Moderno comes in and they just make it more of an automatic drive.
That's a super great analogy, Alex. And I would just take it a little bit further and say, there are some customers that just want us to get them through kind of the more challenging part, the permitting, the excavation, the framing, etc. We just closed on a project with a client in particular that just had us take him to drywall, and then he finished the rest of the project himself. So we're not always turnkey, and we can be as involved or uninvolved in the project as people would like us to be, and really just a support for the stages that they need us into. So that's a great point.
Ashley, something that I think is really common with customers that we see that come in, they either have a very unique skill set of their own trade, or they have industry connections and they want to integrate that into their project.
Yeah, you're so right. We have a lot of people that are looking for something that a general contractor role can't fulfill for them. Many times they have either themselves that are in the industry, or they have connections, siblings, family members that are in the industry, but it's not really typical that they would be able to bring that into a build with a general contractor, since they have their own set of contractors that they already use on that project. So many people will come to us and just say, hey, there's a great equity opportunity and a great way to add value to our home if we're on the job doing something, or we have a family member or something that comes and wants to be a part of maybe the electrical work or the flooring or painting or what have you. And that's just a resounding yes from us. Any way that we can add value to the project, we're all about it. And yet, I think it's important to note that we help vet those people. So while we bring subcontractors that have a tremendous reputation into the project, if they want to bring someone in, we also want to make sure that they're going to provide a level of quality and service to that customer we would expect from anybody else in the industry as well. So we'll really take quotes from where they originate from, and then we'll go through them and make sure that they're comparing apples to apples, and then all the right warranties are in those in the scope of work for them too. So not only do we accept them, but we go one step further to really make sure that they are taken care of and that all the legal paperwork is done, so that we end up with a really good result rather than a favor gone bad, if you will. So it's really important to note that, and we definitely welcome that at Moderno.